Hey everybody, it's Brian here, and I'm really excited about today's video because I've had three really good conversations in the past couple weeks with people, and so those conversations have inspired this video. And it was really cool because we're talking about such different topics, but they all pointed to life and the good, what makes a good life, and that's what I wanted to call this video. What is a good, successful life? And I love the word successful. What is a successful life? And not about money and getting things, but I think what's a good, well-lived, a quality life. So my first conversation was with a friend, I've just known him my whole life practically, and so we were talking about childhood memories and how we were raised and how that's impacted us today for the good and the bad. And then I talked to a mother, and she's a great mom, but naturally questions, could I be doing more? Am I doing something that's damaging my kids now? Like, I don't know, too much screen time or too many snacks, and how that might affect them later. And so again, we started looking at the big themes in life, and my cousin was the last conversation I had. It was just great, It was great because we're so different. He's a surfer, and he's built his entire life around surfing. He's now a surf instructor, and so he's been all over the world to really, adventurous places where I haven't left North America. And so we were comparing lives, and not so much which one was right or wrong, but just what makes a good life, what's important in life. And so then this video, I just want to share my ideas about what is a successful life. And they're just my ideas. You can completely disagree with them for sure. And I think my ideas right now are being influenced by this year, this 2020 year. And so another year I could have a different list for sure. So keep that in mind. So number one, and I really like this one, is I think a successful life is one where you are able to be the honest version of you, and you have found people to be around you that enhance the honest version of yourself. And so if you've ever been with people talking about something and you can't say what you really think and feel, you can't be the real you, then that's a clue that you're not being the real you. And sometimes I understand we can't say certain things because you don't want to, completely offend somebody. I get that. But if you're doing it all the time, or even at home, you can't really be yourself. You're walking around on eggshells, and you can't maybe talk about a certain subject because you don't want to, get their, I don't know, it hurts their ego or something like that. You just can't, you haven't figured out either the way to communicate it, or you haven't been able to get the right confidence relationship going where you can be the honest version of yourself. So I think a successful life is one where you can be the honest version of you, and you've got these people around you that allows you, and it enhances the honest version of yourself. That's a success, I think. Another one is not being controlled. So sometimes we do things in our life because it's expected of us. And that's not a good reason to do it. Either our parents expect us to do it, or someone else in the family, or society itself. We think society's going to look down on us if we don't do it, especially if that thing that you're doing has little value, or it feels terrible. It goes against the very nature of yourself. Then that's not a good reason to do it. You're being controlled. And so I would think about that, okay? Or a vice, another one. There's something in your life, and it's controlling you. You want to stop doing it, something you're eating, or some kind of an addiction, and you want to get out from underneath that, okay? So if you're moving away from being controlled by other people or whatever vices, then I think there's success right there. There's a success. Another one is sharing. Sounds simplistic, but I love the concept of sharing. I think it makes the world a wonderful place to be in, to share. And so if you have learned the value of sharing, you enjoy sharing, and it's not thinking about yourself all the time. And so if you can do that, share your time, your conversations, share your food, share even your possessions and your money. To share, I think that's a success if you learn the value of sharing. And along the same lines as being a good citizen, and don't sell this one short. Having a job, doesn't matter if it's big or small, and participating in society and contributing to the pool of society where you are supporting schools and hospitals and roads and things like that. Being a good citizen and participating in that, I think that's super important. That is a success if you're doing that. And yeah, another one is having no secrets. And you could completely disagree with this one, but I think it would be a success to live your life breathing in and out freely and having no secrets. And I've talked a little bit about this before, but I think secrets eat away at us. It's like, it's a deteriorating feeling. And so if we can get rid of the shame and regret around those secrets and be able to talk about them, I think that's a success. And it's going to start probably with the person you live with, especially if you've lived with them for a long time and you trust them. But I would really encourage you to find one other person, a friend that you trust, and that you can get to the spot where you can talk freely about those things, so that it just lightens the secrets to the place where you don't have secrets anymore. I think that's a huge success. I also think it's really important, and it's a success if you can push the bubble. Okay, we all live in some bubble to some degree. Okay, especially if you think you are not living in a bubble, you probably really are living in a bubble. But I think to some degree everybody's within a bubble, and it happens naturally. We surround ourselves often with people that agree with us. We read books that support the way we think and watch videos that enhance our way of thinking. And of course, we're raised in a certain culture. Even the year you were born sometimes creates this bubble. And so it's very, I think, mature to question, to push, to look at both sides. I remember my parents telling me, when you are working with your children, you don't just get one version of the story, you got to get both versions. And so as adults, we've got to do that. And so our bubbles, they can be educational bubbles, right? I've taught students from other nations, and they're saying to me, Brian, you're explaining a version of history that's completely different than the version we were taught. And so there's obviously a lie there and an educational bubble in some way. We've got to challenge, push, question. Religion could be another bubble where, don't even think about that. Don't listen, don't read, don't question that area. Just only do this. And so it's creating this bubble. And I think going at it in a mature and a constructive way, weighing both options and really challenging and pushing that bubble, I think that's a success to do something like that. And the last one would be being a champion for human rights. Being a champion for human rights, doing no harm to people, making sure the rights you have are the same as the rights that everybody else deserves, okay? And I have not always done that. I've judged people, I've said things to people and called them out on some of their behaviors, calling them evil and wrong. I'm ashamed of it. I should be a champion for human rights. The same rights I have should apply to anybody else. So that would be a success in my book. I know there's more out there. You probably have some that you're thinking of, and so I'd love to hear them if you're willing to share. So thanks for watching. Until next time.